Hey friends, welcome back to Simply Home and Harvest. Welcome to Simply Home for the holidays. If you're new here, I'm Jen, and today is our last video between now and Christmas. I cannot believe Christmas is only just a few days away. When you're seeing this, there's probably going to be 2 days left until Christmas. But I'm going to bring you along. I've got some Christmas goodies to make that we're going to be giving out to friends and neighbors. And then I don't know what else we'll be getting into, but this will be over the course of probably a couple of days. I've still got some last minute things to do. Are you still wrapping presents? Are you still buying presents? I think I'm done buying presents, other than maybe a little stocking stuffer here or there, but I think I am finally done buying presents. But wrapping presents, no, that is always something that I am doing up until the last minute. So I've still got that to do, but I did want to make some fudge today. We've got some sausage balls to make. In fact, I've got a couple different recipes of sausage balls that I've been wanting to try out, that I've been seeing on Instagram Reels and TikToks. And so I want to give that a try today. And then what else? I don't know. There's something else, some cookies maybe, or some other candies that we'll make. So stay tuned and I will take you along with me as we finish up all of our Christmas preparations. Ready to go. So I'm going to kind of multitask here because really I've got a lot to get done. The house is quiet. The kids are gone out for a little while. And I thought I would try to get as much recorded as possible in the small amount of time that I have. So we're going to work on making cozy coffee. I don't think I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but that is something that we love having on hand. And we've been gifting it for maybe a year or two now, and I have a lot of friends that enjoy receiving that. So we're going to make up some cozy coffee, and I'm actually going to make my grandma's version. I'll tell you more about that here in a minute. I'm going to also start one of the sausage ball recipes, and I think I'm only going to have time to show you one of those recipes, and that's going to be the one with the pimento cheese. I've really been excited to try that one, so we'll get that started. And then the other thing I want to do right now is some fudge, and I'm going to make peanut butter melt away fudge. We haven't had this in several years. It's one of my favorite fudge recipes. It was given to me, I guess, probably close to 20 years ago. A friend of mine made it for us at Christmas. We loved it, and she gave me the recipe. And it's also in our church cookbook. So I'm going to use that recipe today to make that super yummy fudge. And then if we have enough time, we might make another recipe. If not, we won't. All right, let's get started. All right, let's tackle this cozy coffee first. Now, it calls for powdered creamer. I'm using this Great Value Walmart brand. It also calls for some instant coffee. Hopefully, I have enough instant coffee here. If not, I know what we'll do. And then it calls for some hot cocoa mix and cinnamon and sugar. Now, my grandma's version of this recipe is called spiced mocha mix, and I found some of her handwritten recipes in an old cookbook that I had received that was hers. And when I read the directions, I said, this is a whole lot like the cozy coffee, except for she made her own hot cocoa mix. So we do have that convenience, but if we needed to make our own cocoa mix, we could. We would just need some sugar, some non-fat dry milk, some unsweetened cocoa powder, and salt. But the ingredient that she added to this that was not in my original cozy coffee recipe is allspice. And recently I made a batch of her version for us and loved the addition of the allspice. So we're going to add that this year. And it just gives it that spiciness. And I guess that's why hers was called Spiced Mocha Mix. So I don't know if we should call this Spiced Cozy Coffee or Grandma's version of Cozy Coffee, but we're going to make it and enjoy it. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to measure out 2 cups of our powdered creamer. And I should have gotten my measuring cups. I have been baking and cooking and baking and cooking and trying to keep things clean, but that has definitely been a challenge. All right, 2 cups of our creamer is going in I was just a little shy of 2 cups. And then, let's see. I don't have my glasses with me, and I probably need them. So I might have to go grab those here in a minute. Oh, I'm getting to that age, y'all, where I need my glasses to see recipes. All right. 1.5 cups of our hot cocoa mix. All right, that's 1.5 cups of hot cocoa mix. That goes right in there. And then we need 1.5 cups of this instant coffee. And this is just what I had on hand. So let's hope we get close to 1.5 cups. Oh, we're not gonna make it. So that's gonna be 1 cup. So we're gonna go with that and hope for the best. It might be more cozy than coffee. All right, we're also gonna need 1.5 cups of sugar. And I think I'm going to reduce our sugar amount a little bit since we had that already prepared cocoa mix, which I'm sure has a ton of sugar in it already. All right, and then we're gonna need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. So here's our teaspoon of cinnamon. Now you do want to use a rather large bowl on this because you're going to stir all of it together. And a large bowl is just a little bit more helpful when you're stirring everything. I just grabbed the whisk, but you know, a spoon would work, your hands would work, a bowl with a lid, shake it up. It all works just the same. That's pretty much done for now. We're gonna set that aside and we are going to now work on our sausage balls. All right, we're gonna use our stand mixer to make these sausage balls, and this is the first time that I have tried this recipe. So we are going to find out together if we like it. Now, you can use any regular sausage that you like. I picked up the Bob Jones pork sausage, probably because it's what was on sale at Food Line when I was there. And I have definitely not been as brand loyal lately with the prices of things. And I've just been kind of trying to get what's on sale because, you know, especially this time of year when you have to buy a lot of things, if you can save money, by all means. So 1 pound of breakfast sausage going in to our mixer. Get all that out of there. All right, now we're going to add 2.5 cups of baking mix. You could use Bisquick, or I'll show you what I've used. This is the Pioneer Buttermilk Baking Mix. And I started using this brand a few months back when Bisquick was so expensive and I couldn't find the off-brand of baking mix at Aldi like they used to have. So the Pioneer brand was a little bit cheaper and it works just the same. 2.5 cups of that mix going right in over top of our sausage. And then this is the ingredient that I've been really excited to try out. This is the Pawleys Island Pimento cheese spread with jalapenos, say that right. And this is, I'm going to say, it's 11 ounces. I was gonna say 8. So I think this is exclusive to South Carolina. And the person's video that I watched that did this, she was from South Carolina. So I was surprised that our Walmart here in Virginia carried it. And I'm sure it is tasty. I'm gonna try it off the lid here in a second. Because I love pimento cheese, especially in the summer with a nice garden tomato. I'm making myself hungry. All right, so we're gonna put that in here. And then like I said, you could use your hands. We're going to throw this in our mixer because why not? It's sitting here. All right, and we'll reserve that for a second. I'm gonna give it a try. And we should probably plug it in. That always helps. That go for a little bit. That's really good. Ooh, definitely can taste the spice in there. So I'm glad we used regular sausage I definitely would not use the hot sausage because you're going to have enough heat in this. Oh boy. I better warn the people on that one. All right. That's a little bit of a kick to it, which I don't mind a little bit. A lot is when I sometimes have a problem. All right. So you can see that the mixer mixes together pretty well. I'm going to probably have to get in there and incorporate it with my hands a little bit. So I will do that real quick. And then we're just gonna get these rolled out. I pulled out my teaspoon scoop here, and I just like to scoop mine out on my prepared cookie sheet. This one I've got covered with parchment paper that makes for a little bit easier cleanup. So I just scoop it out on there, and then after I get it all scooped out, I will go back in and roll the sausage into balls. Okay. I think we got most of it off there. I used my oven this morning, so it's still kind of warm, but I do need to preheat it. We're gonna preheat it to 375 degrees. Yeah, this morning I had to run out, did a Walmart grocery pickup. I hope to goodness that it's the last one I do before Christmas. I was trying to remember everything I possibly could so that I wouldn't have to go back. I also had to take back some things to Target. And I did not want to have to go back after Christmas and take anything back. I wanted to go ahead and get that done beforehand. So I did that early this morning and came home hoping to get all of this knocked out. But I said all that to say that when I was out, I was so hungry because I hadn't had breakfast. I was going to stop and get a biscuit. Just didn't, honestly, I didn't want to spend the money on a biscuit out. And the lines were so long. So I came home and threw together some quick and easy biscuits, made some eggs. We had some of those Nathan's hot dogs, and sometimes I love to have like hot dogs with eggs, so I cooked up one of those, made some eggs, cooked some biscuits, and that's what I had for breakfast. It was delicious, so that's why the oven is warm. That was a long story to tell you why the oven's warm. Okay, got that mixed together. Now I'm just going to roll out probably half of this, and then the other half, I'm either gonna put in I think they'll be okay to leave in the fridge. Then we can roll those out closer to Christmas because we don't need all these right now. And these I think I'm going to give as gifts. And then we'll have ours for Christmas morning. As soon as our oven is preheated, 375 degrees, the recipe says to bake them from 15 to 20 minutes or until they're done. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get our fudge started while our sausage balls are in the oven. I did set my oven for 17 minutes. We'll keep an eye on them. Our recipe for our peanut butter melt-away fudge, which I'm so excited about, and you guys may, well, I'll see if I can put that at the end of the video, like once the fudge sets, because it will have to set up in the refrigerator and that's going to take a while. But hopefully I can show you that toward the end of the video. So we're going to need 2 packages of white chocolate chips. I've just got the good old Aldi brand here. And then we're going to need 1 package of milk chocolate chips and 1 jar of peanut butter. And I'm using the No Stir Creamy Aldi brand peanut butter. That's it. And a microwave. So I've got a little bit of leftover white chips here that I'm probably just going to add to it. And hopefully that won't be that big of a deal. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our, white chips into this bowl. And we're going to get those melted in the microwave by following the package instructions, which says to Microwave this in 20-second increments, stirring in between. And that process always seems to take a while, but you know, you do not want to burn your chocolate. I have done that before, and then you have to start all over. Or you can get it, if you don't get it melted enough, you know, that can ruin your recipe too. So we are going to do as it says. All right, into the microwave, 20-second. This is the first go. You see, it didn't even start melting. So back in it goes. I'll let you know how many times it takes us to do that, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, I have microwaved the white chocolate for about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Is what it's gonna end up being. I'm gonna give that a stir. I think that looks pretty good. Now we're gonna work quickly because I know this is gonna start to set on us. Oh, but we do need to do this step. So we're going to take our entire jar of peanut butter, and it's going into the white chocolate. This is going to take a second. I need a smaller tool, I believe. But while I was melting the white chocolate, I did go ahead and get our pan ready. We're using an 8x8 baking dish, and you could grease your baking dish if you wanted to, but because I'm going to get this out, cut it up into pieces, and give it as gifts, I wanted the easy removal. So I have lined mine with some parchment paper, and I also poured our milk chocolate morsels into a bowl over here, because they're going to go into the microwave here in just a minute once we get all this mixed together. It has been a long time since I've made this, so I forget that while it's an easy recipe, there are some steps that take a bit of time to complete, like getting the peanut butter out of the jar. Talk amongst yourselves. How's everybody doing today? Are you ready for Christmas? Do you have your shopping done? I hope so. Because by the time you see this, it's probably close to Christmas Eve. And, you know, some people enjoy being out there during the rush. Sometimes I do, if I've already got everything done. I have found myself just going out on Christmas Eve just to see what kind of deals are out there. Sometimes I will pick up some things that I didn't intend to get. So that's why I probably should stay home this Christmas Eve, because I think I have everybody's gift pretty much purchased, and I don't really need to go spending extra money that I don't need to spend. But also, Christmas Eve this year falls on a Sunday, and so we are going to go to a special Christmas Eve service. My dad is the new pastor of a church in our community, and he's been the pastor there for about, I think, maybe close to 3 months at this point. But we have loved being part of their congregation as well as our own church, and they celebrate Advent and have a lot of special services. So this Sunday is their last Advent celebration. They're having a special Christmas Eve service, and so we're excited to get to attend that. And then, following the service, we'll come home, I guess, grab a snack, and then we're off to Tim's parents. And they live in North Carolina. They live about an hour away. So we'll go and spend Christmas Eve evening with them. And then my family will spend Christmas Day with them. So we have a lot to look forward to, a lot happening. And so I want to get all this done so I can enjoy that time with my family, because y'all know enjoying the moments you've been given is part of what we always say, and that is the most important thing. Spending time with your loved ones, and you know, you can cook and bake and do all that stuff anytime. All right, we got this pretty much mixed together. This is our peanut butter and our white chocolate, and so let me reread everything. Okay, we're going to pour this into our pan. Then we're going to melt our chocolate chips, and then we'll pour that over top, and that's when we'll do our little swirly whirly thing. All right, going in. Can you guys see this? I need to bring the camera closer. do that. As soon as I get this poured in here, I'll bring it closer. Oh, that looks amazing. Smells amazing. I love peanut butter, and I love the chocolate peanut butter combination. That's probably my favorite food combination. So I love Reese's peanut butter stuff. I almost made some Reese's peanut butter trees, some homemade trees, but we are running out of time. We might have to save that for next Christmas. I did Reese's peanut butter eggs back last Easter. So I'm just going to basically do the same type thing, but cut out trees instead. All right. I'm going to try to get this spread evenly before I start melting the other. All right, so there's that. Let me move you closer. Moved you closer, and then the oven started going off. So let's check on these sausage balls. You'll just have to listen for a second, because I've already moved it. All right, that's what they're looking like. I think they're just about done. I'm going to turn these and then put them in there for a couple more minutes. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to melt our milk chocolate chips just like we did the white chocolate. And we'll do those in our 20-second increments. All right, our chocolate is ready to pour over our peanut butter mixture here. Try our best, just evenly get that over the top. And we're gonna swirl it into the peanut butter, so you don't have to make sure that, you get it perfect over the top. So we're gonna come back in with a knife and make that swirly whirly design. I don't know why, it makes me think of the movie Elf. Isn't there a part in there where the swirly whirly, something, the forest, the candy forest? I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. And we still have not seen it. And we have a list of Christmas movies that we need to watch in the next couple of days before Christmas. And that one is on our list. What is on your list of must-watch Christmas movies? You have to let me know in the comments below. So I can tell you ours. Of course, Elf is one. And then the kids like to watch The Grinch with Jim Carrey. And let's see. Oh, White Christmas is my absolute favorite. But I don't get a lot of family members that want to watch that one with me. Not in our immediate household. All right, so you see I'm just swirling that back and forth. We're just moving that into our peanut butter mixture. Makes like a marbled effect. And we'll go back this way. Let's see, we watched Christmas with the Cranks. That's another good one. Of course, Charlie Brown Christmas. That's one that is a must-see. We typically watch that one on Christmas Eve. I like Holiday Inn with Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby. What else? I feel like I'm missing an obvious one. Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. That one is kind of hit or miss around here. The kids like to watch some of the Christmas, like the, TV shows from years past, like the Disney Channel TV shows, their Christmas episodes. I cannot think of any and do this, but I'm kind of mesmerized by this right now. Isn't that so pretty? I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying not to go outside of the parchment paper because then we'll have some weird shapes there when we cut it. All right, so I'm trying to keep within that square. All right, we'll do one more. We're just gonna leave it like that. That is so pretty. All right. Y'all know I'm gonna lick that knife as soon as I turn the camera off. Okay, we are going to cool this in the refrigerator for 2 hours. And I will show you the finished product. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, you guys. Here are the first batch of our pimento cheese sausage balls. You'll see that they got brown, more brown on one side than they did the other. And I think when I make the next batches, I'm going to turn them like halfway through the cooking time. But I cooked them for a total of about 17 minutes. The inside is completely done. We're gonna give them a try. Those are delicious. Oh, I wish my husband was here to taste them. He loves sausage balls, or my brother. I might have to see what he's up to. He would probably run over here and try them out. Those are so good, y'all. Wow. Really, the sausage absorbs some of that heat. So they're really not, that one wasn't spicy at all, like the pimento cheese is by itself. So definitely don't shy away from them if you're like, oh, I don't really like spicy, because something happened and like I said, the sausage absorbed a lot of that heat. Or maybe I didn't have a spicy one. Well, let's just taste another one, you know, just to be on the safe side. No, they're not as spicy as I thought they would be. These are delicious. I've never tried them this way. The recipe that we typically use is like a pound of regular sausage with 2 cups of Bisquick, 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese, and then an egg. I mix that together. I bake them on 350 for like 10 minutes, turn them over for 10 more minutes. And those are really good for breakfast. Like we'll have those, I'll have mine with mustard. I like to dip them in mustard. But like these, I don't even feel like they need mustard. Like that pimento cheese is just takes it up a notch. Like these would be good for like hors d'oeuvres that aren't typically breakfast. So like showers and parties and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop eating these because I do want to gift them. But holy cow, these are delicious. Okay. This is probably going to be a new recipe in our house. So good. All right, you guys. I've decided that I want to make one more recipe for you. It's because I've been talking about this gingerbread cake since the very beginning of my Christmas videos. It's my grandma's handwritten gingerbread cake. I found it in one of her old cookbooks. And since my theme has been gingerbread men this year and decorating my kitchen in gingerbread, I thought it was very appropriate. Plus, we love good gingerbread. So I'm making this, and really especially for my mom too, because she is a huge gingerbread lover. So I'm going to attempt it. I've never made it before, but I wanted to do it, and I said I'm just going to try to incorporate that in today's video. So I hope it won't be too long. I pre-measured out everything, and hopefully I can run through it real quick and you can get to see the finished product of that cake. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, and we're going to use our stand mixer here with our beater, is we're going to combine 1/2 cup of shortening and 1/2 cup of sugar. 1/2 cup of our white sugar. Together. This one's old, so it makes a lot of racket. All right, next we're going to add, put my recipe up here so I can make sure I get this right. I've read through it several times, so hopefully we're gonna get it right. Oh, and before I go any further, it says to grease and flour an 8x8 by 2 baking pan. I'm going to try using my 10-inch bundt pan, and I did probably over grease and flour this, but I wanna make sure we can get that cake out. So that's what we're going to use. Hopefully that won't affect anything. Okay, it looks pretty creamy, so we're going to add 1 egg, and we're also going to add in 1/2 cup of light molasses. I did spray my measuring cup before I added the molasses, and that helped get it out of here a whole lot easier. But it's still a little tricky and a little sticky to work with. All right, so get this mixed together. Now it says to beat this thoroughly, so I'm just going to make sure that I scrape down the sides and really get this mixed together. All right, that looks really smooth and mixed together. So now we want to mix together our dry ingredients. We're gonna need 1.5 cups of plain flour. And that's just all-purpose flour. I wanted to show you the bag because A lot of my grandma's recipes and a recipe that I found recently that was my great aunt's recipe, they talk a lot about the gold medal flour. And the kind of flour that they suggested was the one in the yellow bag, which is the cake flour. I could not find that at my grocery store. So I just went ahead and got this gold medal, and it said on it that this was really good for making cakes and making breads. So we're just going to go with it and hope that this will turn out just as good as theirs did. So into our bowl, we're gonna add our 1.5 cups of that gold medal flour. That flour, I noticed, is a very fine flour. It really reminds me of the white lily flour, which we don't have in our area. I have used the white lily flour when I've been out of town. I've picked that up, and it's so, oh, I love making biscuits out of it. So that's very close to the white lily texture, I think. Okay, next we're going to add in our salt, baking soda, and our spices. So this is 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Ball that in. The flour is so fine. Let me see if I can show y'all the texture of that flour. It's so fine. Which I believe it's going to make our cake just so light and fluffy. That's what my hope is anyway. Okay, now this step says I've got a 1/2 cup of boiling water in our microwave, and the step says, or the next step says to alternate this dry ingredient mixture and the 1/2 cup of boiling water, and then mix in between into your mixer. So we're gonna try that out. So let's do a little bit of this. Give that a mix. Gonna add a little bit of our water. The rest of that boiling water. Stop for a second and scrape our sides down. All right. I love the color of this. It's definitely that light brown gingerbread color. Smells amazing. Okay, hopefully this is going to be okay to put it in this bundt pan that we have definitely floured. All right, I'm going to try to go around it. It really doesn't make a lot of batter, so it might be a tiny little bundt cake. That's okay. You know what? If it doesn't turn out, we'll enjoy it. Probably work out like I'm envisioning in this pan. But because I didn't have the 8x8 clean, this is kind of how we had to work things out. And then again, maybe we'll be surprised. Get all the air bubbles out. Okay, this is going to go into our preheated oven. It's 350 degrees. We're going to bake this from 35 to 40 minutes. And then once it's done, we'll give it that toothpick test. And hopefully we will flip this thing upside down. It'll come out like a champ. All right, well, I've got quite the mess to clean up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get things cleaned up while that cake is baking. Maybe by the time it comes out and cools, our fudge will be ready. We'll slice that up. We'll prepare our jars of cozy coffee. We'll get our sausage balls bagged up, and maybe we'll put a little gift together by the end of this, if this video is not hours long. I will tell you that I did take my brother some sausage balls, and he wasn't able to do a live taste test with us, but he texted back and said they were so delicious. So that is a win, because he's definitely the sausage ball connoisseur in our family. Okay, on to the cleanup. All right, so our gingerbread cake is out of the oven. We're gonna do our toothpick test, but I can tell you it's definitely done. Our toothpick comes out clean, and it filled that pan up nicely. So I am happily mistaken, but we're going to let it cool in this pan for probably a good 15 to 20 minutes. Hopefully it will come out in one piece, and I think we're going to make a glaze for it. All right, I got a little ahead of myself and thought, well, let me just test it out. And it seems like it came out of the pan pretty well. Would y'all look at that? Well, I just feel like we need to give Jen a hand because that does not happen very often. Is that not the cutest little gingerbread cake that there ever was? I am just really pleasantly surprised with that. Well, I still think I want to put a glaze on it. And I've got this maple brown sugar cookie recipe, which I will try to link the video to that down in the description box below. It's from last Christmas, but there are these maple brown sugar cookies that I really want to make for our family. I'm not going to include that in today's video. It would just be too long. But there's a maple icing glaze that goes on those cookies that I thought would be really good on this cake. I'm heating up my lunch in the background. So I think I'm going to try that and we'll see how it goes. All right, just make this glaze over the stove. And this is, so I can remember the ingredients. 2 tablespoons of melted butter, a 1/3 cup of pure maple syrup, and 1 cup of sifted powdered sugar. You can add a pinch of salt to that. And we're just going to drizzle this over our cake, just like that. All right, I'm gonna give our cake a try. I really want a cup of coffee to go with this, but I'm so full from lunch, I don't even think I can handle a cup of coffee. So this little bit of cake is all I'm gonna be able to handle. Let's see. That is good. Oh, that is so delicious. It's nice and moist. It reminds me of a ginger snap, like a ginger snap cookie. I like gingerbread. I'm not a huge fan of gingerbread, but anyone that is would definitely like this cake. Definitely tastes like Christmas. And that maple, let me see if I can get, I didn't get much of that. The maple brown sugar there. Let's try that. Oh yeah, that's good with that. Excellent. All right, well, I'm gonna finish this cake. But before that, thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. So Merry Christmas to you and your family from our home. And I don't know exactly what next week will look like. I may take the week off just to spend it with my family. But after the first of the year, we'll be back with you with lots of organization videos and all of those New Year things. So until then, remember to live simply, use what you have, enjoy the moments you've been given, and I will see you all in the next one.